What's up, guys? Wow, this is really weird. This is my first time back on YouTube in like 2 months, and I'm gonna be by myself. So yeah, that should be interesting. We already have like 10 people. This is crazy. Thank all you guys. I'm not too sure if this is gonna be a longer video or live, a shorter live. Not too sure. I tried to put down some like little points to try to remind myself, and that didn't work. So I'm just kind of gonna start talking and see where it goes. What's going on, Kat? Oh, David. What's going on, everybody? So yeah, basically the whole point of this episode is sort of to go over some stuff I haven't been too open about to the people in my life, and it affected me, but it affected our year. It affected our collection, and yeah, it's important, and I think stuff like this needs to be said, just because when other people go through stuff like this, I just don't think there's enough discussion about it. But yeah, I guess, come on. Wouldn't be one of my videos without a cat. What's going on, guys? Yeah, so I guess just starting from the beginning, back at the start of the year, the wife and I, or ex-wife now, and I began to have talks about kind of, how things really weren't working. And then fast forward a few months, the decision was made, unfortunately, to go our separate ways. And if you ask me, I'm the one to blame. I was just angry and drinking a lot because I hated my job and I didn't even realize it. That's neither here nor there. So that immediately put me in a rough spot, like basically going right in the middle of hatchling season, which I think it was mid June or mid July that I had to be out by or something like that. And half our collection was at my old place. So that already put a really big hook on a lot of things. And just started the year off, like, or not the year, but like the season off, pretty rough. And then, having to actually find a place and then not being able to find a place that could house my half of our collection, and then having to bring everything to Nick's place. And it was a lot of back and forth. And it actually, hopefully, we get to show you guys soon. It actually ended up working out for the better because now we have a whole setup. We're gonna have a whole. It'll be sweet. That's neither here nor there. Just lots of stress coming from that. And then about, I don't know, 3 months after I moved out on my own, had tons more, bills I have to cover myself, all that kind of stuff. My work just up and fires me after 5.5 years. Just no, nothing. Just, yeah, here's your severance. See you later. So, yeah, you know what? Things this year were really tough for me. And the reason I want to talk about this is because had I not been in the incredibly fortunate position that I'm in, where I have somebody like Nick to lean on for my collection, which still incredibly unfair to poor Nick, because he's going back to school this year. Like, he's been working his ass off, and poor guy gets handed my bullshit too. So shout out to Nick. I know, he's rarely on here, but it's just, it was a lot. And it was, I never considered getting out. But had I not had Nick, I know changes would have had to have been made. Even based on just my half of the size of the collection. I wasn't in a place where I would have been able to do that on my own at that time. At least, for a little bit, things were pretty rough. And for some reason, even though, we friggin' started a series on YouTube to talk about mental health and, this, that, and the other thing, I seem to have this idea that, just not talking about it would be the best bet, and just sort of, keeping it out of everybody's face and everybody's view, so nobody had to deal with my bullshit. And yeah, it didn't help. Had some pretty tough days. But you know what? I like I was saying before, I cannot thank Nick enough. We ended up having an amazing season still, and I'm not just saying that I just bailed on him and left everything to Nick. Of course, I was around. It's just not as much as I would have liked. But yeah, we still had an amazing season. We did have some letdowns too, but that's to be expected. We did just get incredibly lucky on a clutch that just hatched about a week and a half ago. Get to share that with you guys in maybe 1 to 2 more days on our Instagram if it's up. Oh, and that's another thing. We'll get to the Instagram though. That's something else. Thanks, guys. So yeah. Anyway, basically, I am somebody that is a proponent of telling other people to reach out when they're going through shit. I mean, I'll scream that till the cows come home. But unfortunately, like, even somebody that goes out of their way to do that can still get stuck doing that to themselves, and it sucks. And you know what? Honestly, I wish I would have been more open to more people about it sooner. It might have got to the point. Sorry, it might have gotten to the point where one of those things didn't happen. You know what I mean? I don't know how much cause and effect each event had on one another, but I'm sure there's some there, right? So I'm not sure, I'm not saying one could have not happened, but maybe something could have happened differently. But it's tough. It's tough for everybody, and um, especially if you're struggling and you're keeping a collection, even if it's only 2 snakes, 5 snakes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I'm talking about 150 that I was taking care of. That the number is irrelevant. Not being able to do one is the same, but not being able to do them all. Um, but if you're in a position where you don't feel up to it, like I had many times that I should have reached out, and like I said, I leaned on Nick probably way too hard. Dude's a saint. um, but it's I get it. I know how tough it can be. That's all I'm saying. I knew this would be kind of erratic, but um, anyway, it's been a time. Since it's been about 10 minutes. What's up, everybody? Anybody that's rolled in here since we started? Yeah, just sort of talking about how the year's going. If anybody, questions, comments, whatever, I'll throw them up. I'm thinking this isn't going to be long because even that bit that I just ran through only went like 10 minutes, not even. But yeah, you know what? I have a newfound understanding for people that even just struggle with like depression, like in general. Like I'm very fortunately never been diagnosed with like depression um, per se. I do have really bad anxiety, but never depression. But just the shit that I felt on some of those days, from what I understand, isn't even a drop in the bucket. So yeah, that's something else entirely. So guys, like I know there's a few people in the hobby already too that don't do this, but like if you're ever feeling like shit, just reach out, pick up the phone, call somebody, make them answer their damn phone for once. Like just have a chat. Yeah, it's priceless. Like yeah. um I had some stuff here. Nope, it is all gone. I had a bunch of stuff prepared. So it's like Men's Health Month or whatever. Um, so I did have a bunch of banners, but I guess what I'll do is after this airs, I'll just put a bunch of links in the actual description of the archive video on my YouTube, just for mental health links and all that kind of stuff. Just be honest with people. Sorry. Sorry, this is what made me laugh. What advice would you give anyone going through the things you went through this year? Yeah, just be honest with people, talk to people. Even the people that knew um what was going on, I feel like I downplayed it to them. Um because I didn't want to burden anybody. And unfortunately, because of how the things compounded, the like slight truths compounded too. So um yeah, it's tough. I know. It like nobody, especially when you're feeling like shit, you don't want to start bringing other people down, but like it's so important. Just talk to somebody. I'm not telling you to go spend your money on a therapist or whatever you need to do. Just make sure you do that. Don't just sit and like toil in your own bullshit. It's not good for anybody. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to keep talking about for another even 10 minutes. So unless oh yeah, what's going on, Aurora? Um, it's tough, and it's unfortunately something I hear a lot from a lot of people that I know. They go through this stuff, and I genuinely wish it was easier to get past. Like I didn't do it. Like I couldn't get past it. But it's it's going to be tough, and you know what? I only hope somebody sees this or hears this or whatever, and maybe they're having a tough day and they send a text to their dad or their mom or their brother, whatever. Um, that's all I hope for. Yeah, so I am very disappointed that the banners did not save. Oh well, it is what it is. Um, Unfortunately, not. I don't deal with anxiety to the point where I need to like. Oh, Pete's here. What's up, buddy? um, I don't get to the point of like a panic attack often. So usually with my own anxiety, I kind of just power through it. As bad as that sounds, like I'm on medication. So usually it doesn't last too long, fortunately for me. But actually, Kathleen, and actually you know this, but Kathleen gave me a trick when I was in Mexico a few days ago when I was having a hard time and having a panic attack. And it was basically just to take an ice cube and put it in the palm of your hand and just hold it until it melts. And that seemed to work for me when I got really, really bad, which was really cool. I've never heard that before. Other than that, like the sequential breathing and stuff like that, unfortunately, does not work for me. Um, Yeah, I wish I had more, but I don't. I know there are a lot of really, really good coping mechanisms out there. Actually, after I'm done this video, one of the link I'll go find one, but one of the links I'll post below will be to like self coping mechanisms for if you're at home and ever stuck in a position where you're panicking or just having a bad time. Um, yeah, I probably should have had someone on for this, but I thought it would have been inappropriate. But now I'm seeing that this is kind of just short and sweet. But um, yeah, basically, like everything, Tyler, literally everything. You missed all of it. All of it. Oh man, this is a hard question. I have a really hard time trying to help other people because then I get anxious that I'm saying the wrong thing because I wonder how I would react to it, and it almost like gives me anxiety. um, but for the most part, like just listen, like try and get them to talk, but just listen. It's kind of an art because a lot of times people like that won't want to be overly chatty and stuff like that, but you also don't want to be overbearing. So um, yeah, it's definitely not a skill I have mastered yet. That's for sure. No. Um, so the collection is all just Nick and I. Yeah. So there's no gray, legal, muddy, anything there. Once the snakes moved out of the apartment, that was the end of them in her life. Hmm. I have yet to have something someone else does help. Like genuinely. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. Um, oh, I'm doing it again. The question is, well, it says answer in the context of yourself. What's most effective when someone's talking you down? So yeah, I unfortunately, like if I ever get bad, um, I have a really hard time talking to people when I get bad. So I don't even really actively listen. So it doesn't like it's not the other person that isn't able to, if that makes any sense. I just yeah, I'm just like pig-headed even when I'm like full on anxiety. um, you know what? Going back to this, I guess we could talk more about that. So, Yeah, so basically, I lived with my ex-wife. We had a two-bedroom apartment. I had converted one of the bedrooms into my half of the facility. Nick had half, I had half. Um, so I had one incubator at my place, one incubator at his place, and then I had two hatchling racks, 1075 and 5040. Yeah. So a good chunk of animals too. And what's really funny is just as her and I decided that I had to get out by a certain date, they were about to shut our elevator down. So I literally had just enough time to get my furniture out so I could move out. So I had to leave the snakes at my ex-wife's house for, I think it was 6 weeks, maybe it was a little bit more. So that was super awkward and made it a little bit, but a lot worse. Not for anything she did. She like that wasn't anything my ex-wife could control, of course. It just obviously it's a really awkward situation to begin with, and you don't want to be sort of forced back into it every single day, kind of thing. Um, so yeah, there was a lot of little parts of it too that really didn't help the overall situation. Um, Luckily, the weekend after the um, the elevator got restored in the building, I was able to go in and just like I think I spent like 16 hours one day just taking apart every rack, cleaning every inch of it, packing it up, bringing it up the next, building it back up again, going back down there, taking the snakes, going back. Oh, it was a long day. Um, but yeah, I got very lucky that I was able to do that because that happened only I want to say 2.5 weeks before my work just suddenly was like, here's your papers. Like, um, and that meant I lost my truck. I have a vehicle. We like Nick and I technically it's my car, but it's Nick and I like share it because Nick didn't have a vehicle and I had my truck. But I have a 2010 Dodge Charger, and yeah, that is not probably the best vehicle for moving ARS racks, if I had to guess. So I did get very fortunate in that regard because otherwise I would have no way to move them without going and renting a U-Haul and all that crap. Oh my God. That is my first super chat. Thank you. Um, but yeah, no, it's it was just really weird, funny coincidences with all of it too. Like I feel like each thing that happened gave me just enough time to like kind of like come to terms with it, and then the next thing happened because when my ex-wife and I split, we had agreed because it was mutual. Like there's no like pissing and moaning, like none of that. Well, maybe not mutual. Like she left, but it was civil. Like there was no hard feelings, nothing like that. Whatever. But we had agreed upon a date when I would move out so I could have time to save up some money because rent here is absolutely atrocious. Um, and then the elevator thing happened and it significantly moved up my move out date because otherwise it would be too late, if that makes any sense. Um, so then I was 6 weeks short on the money I would have saved and had to rush all my stuff out, like, and had to find a place in 2 weeks. It was a wild ride. Um, and then, yeah, like I said, finally settling in at this place. Couple months in, elevators finally back up at the old place, and get the collection out, and literally like whatever it was, 2 weeks later, papers, right? So yeah, it was like it's like every time I just settle into something, something new comes along. That all said, like I know I've been rambling just about bullshit for a little while. Things are like right now. I shouldn't say just got about a week ago. A week. It was the Friday before last. I was in Mexico and I got a call from a guy I used to work for maybe 7, 8 years ago. And basically, he offered me a job. He offered me a better job than I had. Just the job itself was a better job than I had before. Um, Cooler job, better job title, like all the fun stuff. Um, Way more money than I was making even after 5.5 years for that other company after they claimed they were paying me good money. Offered me a truck right off the bat. Um, and then also offered me benefits like without waiting till the 3 month probationary period is up. So, you know what? Like all of that bullshit, and eventually came around, and all the crap and all the well, sorry, all the feeling like crap. Um, like I don't want to say it was worth it, but like it just goes to show that it is come and go. Um, but I like things are awesome right now. I just came back from Mexico, like I said. Like I just went for a 5 day vacation. I just took myself. I just got drunk and walked on the beach at 4 in the morning and stared at the stars. That was fucking cool. I wish I would have taken videos because I should have posted a video from there. I didn't even think about it till now. Fuck. I'm allowed to do that even though I'm monetized, right? Yeah, whatever. Um, but so the reason I chose this resort was because it was heavy, infested with the spiny tail iguanas, but also with these little Mexican raccoon things called Codimundis. And I almost like held like 3 of them. And if you don't know what they are, just send me a message on my Instagram because I didn't post them on the Reptile Ward account. I think I posted them on my personal account, but I have a ton of pictures, so I'll just send them to you. They're friggin' adorable. They have these long tails. If you've ever seen that meme on Facebook about the mini brontosauruses, if you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, just don't worry about it. That's what they are. That's what those animals are. That's good, man. And you know what? The fact that you talk about it makes me more comfortable talking about it. And I think everybody's just helping everybody, feel a little more comfortable talking about it because the only way it's going to happen is if people do it. Like there's waiting is doing nothing for anybody, right? I could have talked about this 6 months ago and I didn't. I should have. The last one of these has happened in between and I didn't. Like it's tough. Like you can never condemn anybody for making or not making a decision to do that because it's hard and nobody knows where anybody else's head's ever at, right? So I always got you, man. That's why I got this on. Yeah, I got a little off topic because I got talking about Mexico. Oh, and I saw 2 monkeys. Those were the first 2 wild monkeys I've ever seen in my life, so that was kind of cool. They were really mean. Really mean. Like they would like chase people away if you got close. Yeah, it was actually really cool. So the night that the guy I used to work for called me and offered me this dream job that I'm starting, um, I fell asleep earlier in the night, like earlier in the day, I guess, like because that was my first day there. So I got up really early, started drinking, passed out at like 1 or 2, and then woke up at like 7. And he called me, I want to say like 8:30, and we talked for a while. But because I had like a 7-hour sleep or 6-hour sleep or whatever, I wasn't tired at all. So I like ordered room service, ate my dinner, and then just walked the beach and like walked like anywhere I could kind of access in the middle of the night. It was crazy. And just being able to see like every single star and stuff like that, it was really, really cool. I was trying to take some pictures, but I couldn't figure out the exposure to do it on the iPhone. Yeah, so it was really cool. The fact that there was so much wildlife there was really nice. And as soon as I walked out of the airport, I saw a peacock, and that was pretty cool. He was also pretty mean, but it's still pretty cool. And I didn't get a picture holding an iguana. I held 2 of them, but only for like a couple seconds, and they were not nice about it. Oh, Chris is here. What's up, man? Yeah, okay, we've gone like half an hour. If anybody else has got yes, that was my first. That was my first super chat ever. Thank you so much. Oh, and this is the person responsible for helping get this channel monetized. So everybody thank her, not me, because I did very little. I literally went there to harass every animal I found. That was my purpose. Okay, like my purpose was to bother all of them. Um, oh, a Cody Mundy bit me. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, Cody Mundy bit me. So he was on my balcony and I was outside. It was that same night I was just talking about. It was like in between whenever my boss called and like whenever I left my room. Oh my God, Tyler, that's amazing. Um, so I think it was when I was waiting for my room service. I was sitting outside, I was having a beer and I was just reading my book. And he just Cody Mundy just walked past my railing, like just walked, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I like leaned over and I started calling him and like just like chittering at him to get his attention. And he stops and he turns around and he kind of like saunters up to me and he's looking at me. And I had like a little bag of like Lay's chips, like Mexican Lay's chips. They're not called Lay's, I don't know. So I tried to give him one, and instead he tried to take my thumb. So that guy was a dick. That was the only one I didn't want to take home. Some of them were. I actually one of the baby Codys came right up to my hand and like put his paws in my hand and like smelled my hand and stuff like that, and stayed for a minute and let me pet him, but wouldn't let me pick him up. And then I got to pet a couple of the other baby Cody Mundys. And then my last day, I saw a mother and a kitten, and they were probably the two cutest cats I've ever seen, and they weren't nice, but I really wanted to bring them home. Um, yeah, yeah, that was the extent of the animals on my trip. I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Still wish there were more though. I mean, I did see a ton of Cody Mundys though, probably like 120. They're probably mostly the same ones, but you guys know what I mean. I wish they were friend. I wish all of them were friendly, so I could just go around picking them up. But I mean, it makes it the challenge makes it so much more fun, right? Yeah, I just got really drunk. Oh, I got heat stroke. That was cool. That was actually the reason that. Oh, that's something we can talk about. That was the reason that I decided to do this. Um, so I got heat stroke on my last full day there. So the day before I had to leave, and um, what happened was having heat stroke caused my heart rate to elevate. My stupid brain mistook that as a panic attack. So then it started to panic. And then I couldn't bring my heart rate back down because I was heat stroke. Like, so like for a cycle of like 18 hours, I just like went into full blown panic, and then to like, okay, you're kind of okay, like you're kind of fine, and just like couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, like it was really really bad. And the worst part was like I wore sunscreen the whole time. I like to think I stayed hydrated. I drink a lot of water for how much I usually drink. Well, maybe not how much I usually drink, but like comparatively. Um, I wasn't even laying on the beach. I was just walking around. I even had my hat on. Like, I don't know. That's a good question. What's next? So now that everything's kind of changing, it actually like this changes a lot. So me having a little extra money means that there's a little bit more money to play around with. For me to help pay my own, like for me to pay my own debts off faster, which means I can focus more on um, doing projects that I want to do and not having to do some just to have sale animals, if that makes sense. Which is awesome. Like that feeling is really really cool. But honestly, everything like now that everything's kind of landed and settled, like the big like bad things happen in threes, like done, boom, um, and like the next chapter starting, everything just seems very surreal. Um, I think this clutch that we're going to share, hopefully tomorrow, will be um, like almost like a new start, because the stuff that's coming after that, the eggs we're waiting for right now, like some of the stuff in the next three clutches, it's just nuts. Like I'm blown away that we're even where we are. Um, Dude, I was wearing a shirt, my hat, and my sunglasses and shorts. Not even like short like swim trunks, like shorts and sunscreen everywhere the entire time, and still just got baked. It was so hot. I wasn't really going to talk much snake stuff, but I guess we can. So everything the stranger's going to, I'm really excited for, and I know that sounds like a cop out answer, but I'll go through each one and why. Well, I'll go through each one and why I'm really excited for most of them, I guess. The biggest clutch, though, is a stranger clutch, and it's him to the GHI Krypton. So pastel, leopard, yellow belly, stranger, het clown to GHI Krypton. Nick and I are really praying, even just for a stranger GHI Krypton male. I think that would be like that in and of itself would just be nuts. I think because stranger's already crazy, and then cryptic, you know, makes things even more crazy. And then we have him going to the Dream Skull, so I think Dream Skull Strangers will be nuts. He's going to a hypo G stripe, so we can make some het hypo pos het clowns hold back, and yeah, I mean the het G stripe is what it is, but we're not using it for that. But yeah, he's het clown, so he was produced. Super pastel, fire, leopard, yellow belly. Oh, this is Misa, by the way. I don't know if I've been on YouTube since I've had her. I saved her. She's purring. Whoa. Yeah, super pastel, fire, leopard, yellow belly, clown to stranger, I believe, is what was the pairing for arts. Come on, dude. All right. But anyway, so yeah, then like I said, the hypo G stripe. Rem's asleep right here too, which is really funny. Like she hasn't even moved since I started. I'm not moving the camera though. She might wake up. But yeah, the pastel hypo G stripe, and then there was one more we put him to. I can't even remember off the top of my head right now. But there's something else really weird that we decided to put him to that I think is going to be really cool. Fuck, what is it? I don't know. But then this year we also have our first shot at clown pies. And now the only shots we might have this year will be het pied 66% het clowns. So the odds aren't super good for us because our boys and Orange Dream, Yellow Belly, Possible Leopard, Pied, Het Clown, and these two are 100% Het Pied, 66% Het Clown. So hopefully at least one of them proves out. Heck, my phone just vibrated like 9 times for one Snapchat. Yeah, so that'd be pretty cool. Misa really wanted screen time, but the problem was she was jumping directly onto the keyboard and just prancing around on it, not just like in front where Peach always jumps up, because I have the laptop on a chair, and it's the chair that they always like on a stool, and it's a stool they always sit on at the table. So she just jumps right to where she usually sleeps. She doesn't actually look to see that there's a laptop here. She's just dumb. She's real dumb. She is sweet though. They all do. Those cats are suckers. Anyway, yeah. So little splintered and broken at the beginning there, but moral of the story is, listen, like sometimes people have a bad day. Some people have a bad week. Some people have a bad month. Some people have a bad year. Hi. It's never too late to reach out. Even if you were too stubborn to yesterday, last week, whatever, just do it. Like I know for a fact I have so many damn people I could talk to, and that's how stubborn I am. So yeah, it's never too late to reach out to somebody, guys. And you know what? It always comes around. The funny part about this whole thing is things are way better for me now. Like, and they were all changes I probably wouldn't have been able to make on my own. So it's almost like I imploded myself to be better. No, that's not a thing. I just was a piece of shit. Um, no, but it's really ironic, but it is true. Like you can't sit and dwell on shit that you can't change. So just change what you can, man. Like that's all there is. Sure did. Rem's meowing in her sleep. Oh my god. Okay, well, one sec. Here you guys go. What are you doing, stupid computer? Yeah, here. Now you get some Misa time. She's purring so friggin' loud. Little almond eyes. Look at her color. She's so pretty. I'm just gonna hold her because she's gonna keep doing that. She's so big, but still so tiny. She's smaller than Peach. She's a good girl though. For being a feral cat, she's a good girl. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. This somehow got to 40 minutes, which I'm impressed at. I think, a little too high at the beginning of this, but I was also super nervous because it was a weird thing to talk about. Um, yeah, I think that went pretty well. I appreciate it. D, Tyler, and Pete for trying. I did see that you were trying, man. I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, no, it was good. And if anybody ever needs to, like, you can. Well, we didn't even get to talk about that, but I was about to say you can always find us on Instagram, but I mean that's always up in the air too. That shit's been so stressful. But anyway, I'm sure you guys know that. Yeah, just fucking reach out. Just do it. If even if you're someone I've never talked to, send me a message. Like I'll answer, man. It might not be the next minute or the next hour, but I'll see it and I'll get back to you. I promise. And yeah, with that, I'm going to end this. And then, like I said, probably tomorrow sometime, I'll update the description. Um, I'll update the description of this video to have all those men's health links and stuff like that, as well as that link to the self-coping mechanisms and stuff like that, if anybody needs it. And other than that, next Friday, we actually have Lane from LRP Reptiles, who works for Billy, coming on, and I think that'll be really cool. I'm not sure if he's ever done one of these before, but no, he's an awesome kid. He's got some really really cool stuff, and yeah, super excited about that. So we will be posting that up, also probably sometime tomorrow in our stories, just to make sure everybody has time to know what's happening. And as of this show, no more bailing. If you see me post a show, I'll be here. And now you know why I sometimes wasn't, and I apologize for that. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Misa. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, now I'm actually saying bye. I just couldn't get my hand away. Peace out, guys. Appreciate you.